pushing on to chapter 13. Chapter 13 is, once you've got the notion of what a structure is, dealing with this issue of type def and so on is minor, but the issue here is user-defined data types. User-defined data types. The structure idea is real important. But we're on chapter 12, and we're talking about passing pointers by reference. And we see some interesting syntax. What does that say? What is the data type of string, or str I should say? Dakota? What is the data type of str?
It's a pointer to a.
It's got all kinds of special symbols in front of the word, doesn't it? Which maybe makes it a little confusing. First of all, we'll start all the way to the left, because that's the type, and the type is char. Okay, that's cool, but it's char star, which means that it's an address, of a character. Okay, so far so good. The ampersand tells us that this is a reference variable, so it is a reference, which means that it's an address, right? It holds an address. It's a reference to a address of a character. Is that clear? The ampersand there is the reference, tells us that it's a reference variable, so that when we come into this function, or when we make the call, or when we actually come into the function getString, calling getString, I can just simply say str, right? What is actually passed over to getString? What's actually passed over? Max?
The address of str.
The address of str?
Correct.
The address that holds str.
Reference.
What does str hold right
An
now?
address.
What does str hold? Nothing. So what's actually passed over, the content of str is 0? Is that going over there? Or is it the address of str? Looks like it's just the content, right? All by itself, when we look at this line, without knowing the getString, what would you say is passed? Just the null. But as Max points out, that's, if we look at the context, namely this, what we're passing over is the address to str. Okay, so we come into getString, and we have this char star ampersand str, and down here we have str. So where will the value, well, first of all, what will this give me? What will this statement, the right-hand side, give and assign to str? What will it assign? Keone? What's going to assign? I'm not looking for an exact value, but describe to me what that gives up, what it gives and assigns into str.
It's getting more memory access to.
Keone? What does it do? What does it say? Pardon me? There's some memory, and we allocate however long the buffer is. Buffer contains something, but doesn't it depend on what we do on this get line? In other words, this says string length of buffer. Well, let's pretend that buffer length is actually 500. 500. And we type in Mary in response to please enter a string. So Mary is what's in here, right? So how much memory will the new actually allocate? 5. Mary plus the null, okay, because of the 1. This string length says there's 4 in there, plus 1. And then what is actually assigned over there? Andrew?
In string,
Pardon me?
in str,
What's assigned into str? Yeah.
Mary plus a null.
Memory?
Actual characters. The string.
The characters are assigned?
The
No?
line that you're hovering just allocates 5 bytes. The next line copies characters in.
The highlighted line here allocates 5 bytes. Correct. And new, the R value is something, and that's what I'm fishing for. What is that R value?
Address.
It's an address. The R value here, the thing that new returns to us, is an address. And that address then gets assigned into str, into here. Now, what str is pointing at is not Mary, is it? It's just pointing at a chunk of recently dynamically allocated 5 bytes of memory. Uninitialized, we don't know what's in there, stuff was in there, but str now points there. Is that clear? Then, string copy actually takes the content of buffer. Now, how many bytes are actually going to be copied? Ken? Just until the null. Does string copy the null? Yes. Okay? So string copy will copy 5 bytes into, starting with the address in str. Is that clear? Now, if we forgot and we didn't put this plus 1 there, what would happen then? How would it crash? Would I see something wrong? What would happen if I forgot to put my plus 1 in there?
It wouldn't have a null, so it would just keep on going until it finds another null.
What would keep doing?
It would just keep on allocating memory until it found another null in memory.
It would here, the buffer has mary null, right? 5 things in it, mary null. String copy copies everything including the null, but this one only has 4 bytes, so mary, and then there's no allocated memory. Is it going to crash at that instant? Actually, no. Okay? It will copy the null over to here, to these 4 bytes, plus the 1, whatever was next to that last 1. Everything's just cool until our program ends. We end the program, and you're going to get a message, which I don't accept as being a program that runs okay. You get a message that says something about the stack is corrupt around some area. That's all it says. The reason for that is you overran in this string copy, you overran the amount of memory you were allocated, and you corrupted the stack and the heap. You wrote to an area that you didn't have permission to write to. Clear? It doesn't stop you from doing it. Just like with an array, you run off the edge of an array, you run off the end of an array, because you allocated 50 and you wrote 51. It doesn't keep you from doing it. It tells you at the end that, oh, you have some kind of corruption around this area. Is that clear?